Well, Jim, the conditions are infinitely better than they were last night. There's no wind, there's no rain, and indeed we have a full moon, almost the colour of your shirt, Jim, and sometimes that can make certain people loopy. I mean, that's all you need for an Old Firm match, isn't it? But I think the most important thing is that the teams are playing, the players, full strength, at their availability. I mean, that's as good as it can get tonight.
Yeah, a lot of conjecture actually about what teams would eventually put on the pitch, but as you rightly say, you know, almost full strength. Michael Mole's on the bench for Rangers and possibly, you know, not quite match fit yet, and possibly a wee bit of resting him for Sunday, but otherwise strong teams.
Yeah, I think the surprises have been in the Rangers selection all the same. I mean, young Robert Malcolm playing at the age of 20. He was 20 in November, so it's going to be a big strain on him tonight.
Well, I think all season it would be harder to predict the Rangers line-up than Celtic, actually. Celtic have been very settled.
Well, here's a team, and this gives you an idea. I mean, there's solidity right in the heart of that team, and I think that's a big change from last season.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of enforced changes, obviously, with Robert Douglas and Agat suspended, and obviously Jonathan Gould and Jackie McNamara, I think, will go to that right-hand side, but it's the same formation as Celtic have played all season, and a very settled side.
Well, then it is. That's will be big, and Boyd at the back there with McNamara and Thompson pushing down the flank. Thompson's crosses from the touchline are superb.
Yeah, his delivery both in open play and from set pieces actually have been a source of goals for Celtic this season.
Well, there's a debate about how Rangers would actually shape the side. It could be 4 at the back or 3 at the back. 3 at the back at Ibrox was successful for them.
In the 5-1 game they played.
In the 5-1 game, yeah.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't hazard a guess as to how they'll go tonight. We need to wait and see when the game starts, but my money would be on a back 3 with Malcolm, Wilson and Conterman playing there. A big test for Malcolm, and obviously Wilson's still relatively young, playing against strikers of the calibre of Larsson and Sutton.
Well, there they are in the tunnel, the little mascots down there with them. Nerve-wracking time, even for the most experienced players coming into this cauldron, which rebounds, I have to say, with the traditional hatreds which you would like to see out of the game, but I think it's just durable to the point of not being able to extinguish at all. We've had the full panoply of hatreds bouncing back and forward from the start of the supporters coming into the stadium. And I think anybody who feels that these players will hold back because of the importance of the fixture on Sunday really don't understand this fixture, where the sight of each other's jerseys makes the pulse race. And indeed, the one thing, they are playing in front of a very critical audience. They cannot let the support down, Billy.
Well, I mean, I don't remember an Old Firm game being talked down so much, actually, but you just hear that noise in the background. It's certainly will be talked down among the supporters. They might concede that the league game is the more important of the 2 games, but, you know, this is a game that's being played tonight, and they'll be desperate to win it.
You know, one of the assumptions which I think is insulting to Kamara is that this is the final in itself. Well, we saw how Kamara played last night, so whoever wins tonight, they're going to get a game in the final.
Well, Bobby was a bit prickly in the interview after the game, I think, when asked about coming back to Hampden. They'll certainly not be there to make up the numbers, but an Old Firm game, as we've said before, stands in its own actually, whether it's a semi-final or final. And obviously the prize of a final, it's all to play for.
And there is 45-year-old Willie Young. Willie Young is the only referee to have sent off Ali McCoist. I think he puts that as a distinction in his record. Walk that one out. But you don't mess about with Willie. Listen to that roar in the background. And there is Robert Malcolm, as I said, 20 last November. And throwing a youngster into this cauldron, of course, is a big test, not only for his temperament, but for the judgment of the manager as well, with Rickson on the bench. Rickson, who was taken apart, as everybody knows now, by Bobby Petter at Celtic Park. And I doubt very much if he's really recovered from that. Well, if you're installed as favourites as Celtic are, sometimes people think traditionally it's a kiss of death in this picture. But by and large, looking over the records, I think these games go very largely, more often not, to form itself as Flo starts the game for Rangers, and Scott Wilson driving it away forward. We should not forget at the same time, Billy, the players who might conceivably have been playing in this game, but of course are injured on either side.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that'll be to the detriment of the game. Actually, there's enough quality on the pitch to give us a quality 90 minutes. interesting early on that you know, the debate about the back four or the back three for Rangers. It's certainly a three, and you know, almost as significant as Neil McCann playing as a front player alongside Tore Andre Flo.
Well, at that stage you would think Dick Advocaat would need a local anaesthetic for a little smile in his face. He's very grim looking. Work forward there to Jonathan Gould. Well, Martin O'Neill's a dynamic character, but very composed at the moment. Larson trying again for that, and that's a free kick. Rayner eventually conceding that. Absolutely deadly. I mean, he can make goals look so simple, and yet many of the goals he scores are far from simple.
Oh, most definitely. Actually, that's a sign of a quality finisher when he can make them look simple. But it looks as if he's going to be trying to add to his tally here with this free kick.
Rangers trying to make the line right on the edge of the box. The forward there, in low there. Thompson came forward for that. Ferguson tried to make the break. Tommy Boyd at the back for Celtic. That's a slag ball inside. Malcolm just got his head to that. Now we talked about Thompson sending balls in from the touchline. That was a good tackle. Nervy ball forward there by Tugai. Vega's up. Lennon going in hard. And Tugai getting an example of the determination of the Celtic side. Stabbed away. Here's Neil McCann. Remember, he played through the middle at Celtic Park a couple of years ago. Outside a foot tackle, and that was a free kick. Conterman conceding it. This could be a good position for Celtic.
What a strange passage of play that was, Archie. Lots of bodies in a wee tight area there, and eventually the ball hit Willie Young and broke into the path of the Celtic player, who fed it to Larson. And quite rightly it was given as a free kick, but obviously Celtic getting the break there off the referee.
Anyway, Thompson is quite lethal at times with this left foot of his. Said he might go for it himself. Puts that in well. Celtic still with the pressure on. Thompson again. Trying to put that forward and put out there to Alberts. Rangers on the break. Puts it inside beautifully to Tugai. Lovely sweeping move by Rangers. Tore Andre Flo going into the middle. There's Ferguson with it. Good run from midfield by Barry Ferguson. Saw the danger on the opportunity there, and it was in like a flash.
Great break by Rangers there. It was a good pass out to Neil McCann. He had only one thing in his mind, to try and get a cross into the penalty box. And I think Jonathan Gould will be quite happy to get a touch this early in the game, Archie.
There's Ferguson, Lennon with him. Well, Stefan Kloss not the most adroit with his feet when the ball is played back to him. Free kick, though. In the middle of midfield. Want that one out. Almost like an orchestral conductor. There's the gentleman he's after for that. Big up again. Alberts goes for this. Now on to McCann. He's on his own now. Alberts. There's Ferguson. Better possession by Rangers there in midfield. Conterman. Robert Malcolm. Decent enough ball forward. Yeah, it's good support there by Lennon. Vega made the stop, and in came Lennon. No free kick, good tackle by Boyd. McNamara. Easy one there. There's McCann. Yolby. That might be skidding away there. No, I think the referee's given the free kick right on the touchline. Sutton taken from the back.
I think it's been a typical start to an Old Firm game. A few robust challenges. And Willie Young, I think, has refereed as sensibly as anybody this season in this day and age when we seem to have a rash of red and yellow cards. And I hope tonight that you know, he referees it just as sensible, actually.
Thompson again. That's a vicious looking one off the bar, and that's it. Vega comes up there, gets his head to it. And Sutton puts the ball in the back of the net. The Celtic end erupts. Good work by Vega initially. There's the header off the bar, and Sutton, nobody covering him. Celtic are 1 up.
It's typical Celtic this season, Archie. A real physical presence from set pieces. Ramon Vega, probably the biggest guy on the side, gets up well, gets a header off the crossbar. Kloss actually got a touch to it, but that's a magnificent finish by Sutton. He's fallen backwards, and he still manages to keep the ball down and put it high into the net.
Malcolm. Free kick again. Good anticipation by Sutton for the goal. Vega doing 90% of the work there. Easily out-jumping Torandri Flo. I think a push there. Free kick. You just felt that was coming. You know, the number of balls that had floated into that Rangers penalty area, especially from Thompson.
I think the problem for Andy playing Celtic just now, Archie, is that it's who to pick up. I mean, Vega,
Flo is offside.
Vega, Mjällby, Larsson, Sutton are all capable of scoring, have scored from set pieces this season. So it was Torandri Flo that ended up picking up.
He didn't do it particularly well, did he?
He picked him up like centre forward back in his own penalty box, and Celtic have got the reward for that.
Larsson got the touch. Here's Ferguson. On the far side, Newman. Celtic supporters in full chorus at the moment, not surprisingly. Camera panning round an ecstatic support at the moment. Here's Tugai. There goes Newman. Has to play it with that left foot of his. Very rarely turns inside to the right. Flo again beaten in the air. Sutton lays it off. Thompson, good tackle there by Ferguson. Had to get in very quickly. Strength of Sutton again, Malcolm with him. And that's a goal kick. Worked very hard. Very much a physical player. I mean, as a target man, he can shove players, defenders about and drag them all over the place.
Well, you mentioned Newman passing the ball back there, and really Larsson and Sutton, for all their quality, they still work as hard as any front pairing, and they put defenders under pressure.
Out to Konterman. Yolby tries to go in there. Well, early days, but that point I made about this Celtic side's solidity, I mean, it has been exemplified in this opening 10 minutes. looked that bit more stable. Reina. Here's Konterman. Gilby had come right behind, making it difficult for McCann to get a first touch. Malcolm. Rangers not linking all that well from back to front. There's Sutton. Lambert. Paul Lambert back from that long lie-off with injury. There's Sutton doing a bit of nudging that time. Well, the referee seeing that from about 20 yards away. Rangers trying to play it patiently enough at the back. But at the same time, you get the feeling they're not all that sure of what to do with it. Here's Tugai. Hesitation there by Malcolm. Reina had to come back for it. That's that indecision I was talking about.
Part of the problem for Rangers is the back. They've obviously been rocked with that start for Celtic getting the goal, but the back three are all really out-and-out defenders. But there's an onus on them to go wide and take the ball. The two flank players, Reina and Newman at the moment, have been forced so far back into their own territory. And the midfield is congested as well, actually, that it's difficult to get balls through to front players, but they really need to come and make themselves available.
Take it down there to Flo. Nice outside of foot pass, Newman. Up it goes there, and again, Ferguson was in on it. It's a corner kick. Excellent defensive work there again by Paul Lambert, sensing the danger and in quickly.
That's the type of unfussy work that Paul Lambert does that sometimes goes unnoticed. They get back in there, track to run, and a good defensive header.
Alves to take this. There's Flo out there, nobody at the back. Tom Boyd gets there first. Gritty determination. You could read that all over his face as he went for that ball. Konterman. Just edging his way forward, waiting for somebody to run forward. Well, the first touch of one or two of these players up front for Rangers, not good enough. It's got to be sharp. Petrov, unavailable for Sunday, but very much in the thick of the action tonight. Picked up by Alberts. More pressure by Rangers here. Newman almost gave it away there. There's Alberts. Celtic allowing Rangers possession here because they're going across from left to right. Not any penetration at all. And in fact, Celtic win the throw. Now that's about 8 or 9 passes going nowhere. On that far side, Petrov doing a real power of work. Konterman just getting in. Tell you what, it looked to me as if Larson was just getting on the other side of him. Jackie McNamara, as usual, he'll be full of running up and down the right-hand side. Sutton. Newman gets it away, then Wilson. Big play by Rangers, Tugai. Bad pass forward, it looked very promising. And Tugai certainly hasn't got in this game yet.
No, at the moment it's the two Rangers front players who are not really doing their job in terms of holding the ball up whenever they do get the ball through to them. In the last couple of minutes, Rangers have managed to get themselves up the pitch a wee bit further, and the front two have got to push Celtic back a wee bit and get nearer the Celtic goal.
Here's Tugai. Looking for Malcolm on his side, almost cut off there by Larson. He wasn't very far away from that. Really does have the ability to leap up. Now that's a good move by Ferguson. Here's McCann. Really. And he has to fight back for a free kick. Well, rather symptomatic of the way Rangers have been playing. Getting themselves into a maze and confused, and here was McCann giving away ridiculously.
The difference here was Robert Malcolm taking the ball forward into the Celtic territory and finding Barry Ferguson with a good pass.
Well, there's, I think, the referee is saying that's the second goal. Larson follows through and gets the second goal as a youngster, Robert Malcolm, was left stranded there on his own against the most lethal attacker in the United Kingdom. And he got in such a tangle. Perfectly correct decision by the referee. Well, he could have busted an head at the end there, but all he needed to do was take it there and then touch it in. Rangers woefully exposed in defence.
Well, we spoke about Henrik Larsson's work rate. I think there we talk about his determination and then his composure, just to have the presence of mind to lob it over Kloss's head, and he knows he's got all the time in the world to put it into the empty nets. It's an absolutely fantastic start for Celtic.
Well, the youngster was found to be very vulnerable there, though, Billy.
Well, I mean, I think it's very difficult coming into your first Old Firm game, and, you know, especially when you lose an early goal like that.
He's looking very nervy, the youngster. Here's Kloss. Arena. This is where Rangers are getting tied up and losing possession. Referee waving on play. Sutton almost taking the ball down. Now here's Ferguson. Newman. Flo. Again, forced to go across the field like that. Malcolm. Well, that was certainly meant for Flo, but the passes forward like that simply not coming off. And this man is going berserk. No wonder.
Well, we spoke about the solidity of Celtic in their formation, and really we're seeing that. There's just no gaps for Rangers to play the forward passes that they need to get back into this game.
Neat play by Reyna. Yes, that'll be a free kick. And the referee, I think, will have a gentle word with him. And nothing much more than that. Solid tackle there by Leonard, to say the least. Here's Flo. Now Reyna. Try to go on the outside, and look at the way Tommy Boyd can read these situations so well. The veteran in the side with good vision, good understanding, and he can plug the gap so well.
It's important when that left wing back is being taken on there, that the left centre back, Tommy Boyd, in that case, gives him cover, and he did it superbly there.
That's a free kick, surely. As Rangers losing a lot of the 50-50 challenges. Sutton brought down there, back, helping out, defending deep. Well, remember, we have this competition, man of the match. The number to ring, Billy will be making his selection later in the game. 09 009 115500 09 009 115500. And remember, we're on the web at scottsport.co.uk. Wilson. Conterman. Celtic really taking command of this game. Sutton running off his man. And Newman read that all right. Skill kick.
I think that's a feature of recent Old Firm games. You talk of Celtic being totally in command, and they are. And they've now got the 2 goals to show their superiority. But that has been the case in recent games, that the team that is on top does get it reflected in the scoreline.
Little touch there by Alberts. Well, Celtic supporters really enjoyed this. Played out there by Flo. Well, Tor-André Flo, big, tall, lanky fella, of course, and just once or twice in this game, the legs don't seem to be coordinated. There's pushing there, free kick to Rangers. Tugai. Larson not letting Conterman settle down with the ball there. Wilson just getting away with it. Newman. There's Conterman in the clear. Flo. Tommy Boyd gets them again. And Celtic clear it up neatly. Lennon had to do that one. Really under pressure there. Alberts missing out. Petrov on the run. Lennon. Well, they're coping with this and making it look almost ridiculously easy. Yeah, free kick that time. Larson knew what he was doing. No complaint from him. Leaning back.
It's a difficult situation for the team that are behind in an Old Firm game to chase the game so early. But what Rangers need to do is start to get at Celtic a wee bit and make sure that they're concentrating in a defensive sense and make sure that Celtic are not going to get any more chances on the break.
There's going to be a free kick for that one, though. There's Vega in very hard, twisting round, 6'3", Swiss international. Oh, a lot of Spurs supporters were glad to see the back of him, actually. They used to tell me that, but I'll tell you what, he settled in very well. Here's Tugai. Ferguson has to play it wide again, though. Reina. Malcolm. Yes, good clean tackle by Lambert. Here's Larson. Newman stepped in very smartly that time, though. Flo. Notice how McCann's got away to the left touchline. There he is again. Slipping at the vital moment. Referee says no free kick. Larson almost slipping away there, and there was a final touch by Wilson, and that's how difficult and elusive this player can be.
An important touch it was too. He does that so often, Larson, when he gets into the wide area, just steps over the ball, sells a dummy, and he's off and running, and Scott Wilson just get that crucial touch there, or he's off again.
Back to Myobe. Another standing there. And look at the work that Petrov is putting in there amongst the cluster of players, getting his eye on the ball and getting it to it quickly. Sutton. Well, Rayner read that one. Had to get back very quickly. Almost playing in that right back position. Two-guy. Arthur Newman's seen a lot of the ball on that side. Here's McCann. Now McCann again. And the ball ending up halfway inside their own half.
Well, they are stringing a few passes together, Rangers, but it needs to be done with a bit more purpose. They're not actually starting to probe and ask questions of the Celtic defence.
Well, I saw a lot of this in the Champions League from them, Billy, against many a team. They had a lot of possession, but in that area of the field without making any great penetration. However, here's Malcolm, now to two-guy. Look how quickly that was read by Petrov again. Well, they're behind, that's unlike him, Newman. There's two-guy, not really asserted himself in this game. Now Malcolm. Flo. Managed to get round that time. Leaving it to Rayner. Still they have to move back the way. Well, Ferguson was running out of ideas, and now he's arguing with somebody downfield. Very poor ball forward, and an obvious one. That'll be easily read by that defence.
Yeah, but when Barry Ferguson's patrolling with the ball at his feet there, he's got 10 Celtic, or 9 Celtic outfield players in front of him. And really there needs to be better movement between the Rangers midfield and front players to offer him some sort of pass.
Here's Newman again. McCann almost getting to it. Good play by Alberts. Now two-guy. Puts it towards McCann. That's going to be too much though. I think McCann was very static though. I mean, he should have taken off a little sooner for that.
A bit more promising for Rangers there. He did manage to work the ball in the middle of the pitch and got Neil McCann onto the last man there, and you know, just a wee bit too much on the pass, but that certainly is a bit more promising for Rangers. But the thing about Neil McCann is that he's been very effective in some of the games that he's played against Celtic as a front player, and it's mainly been at Celtic Park. And you know, Rangers haven't been chasing the game, so you know, this is a situation that really doesn't suit him.
It's McCann again. Yes, he'll get the free kick out of it. Quickly taken. Now two-guy.
Celtic are doing that tremendously well. They're getting so many bodies round about the ball, and it's almost impossible for the Rangers player to lift his head and play any kind of forward pass.
Mark, you in a game like this at Hampden Park against their old rivals, it's something of a luxury to be 2 goals up at this stage. I mean, they can do that. There's Gould. Well, I think it's against Larson this time, backing in. Wilson was certainly with him, very close. There's Malcolm. That young lad looks very nervous now. Konterman. Two-guy. He's going back to the goalkeeper. The whole shape of this game is that Celtic have taken the lead and now seem to be squeezing the life out of this Rangers midfield, almost suffocating them. Cannot get going. There's the run forward by Rayner. Watch Vega coming over to this. That's a decent ball inside. Not very well taken there by the goalkeeper, I may say, but nobody coming up in support for Rangers. Better movement there. That's the kind of play you felt they needed.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that in this situation is Rangers are doing all the work on the ball. Rangers are doing all the work on the ball. Celtic are quite content to sit there. So when they get somebody in behind, as Reina did there, and it was a super cross, they didn't have the legs to get the bodies into the penalty box to attack it.
That's a good ball by Albert. Newman's ball is in there. Once again, Ferguson got into the box. Torrendry Flo just lying that little bit too far back to make any contact. Newman did get the final tackle in.
Two good crosses from either side there from Rangers, maybe starting to make a wee bit more of an impression on the Celtic back division.
They're the goal scorers, Sutton and Larson. Taken by Tugai. Lennon coming in to break that up. Well, there's no doubt about it that some of Rangers' play in midfield has been decorative and very neat, but it's the penetration they've been lacking so far. There we go again. Here's Alberts. One by McCann, turned very well on it. Newman coming in on it. And yet again, there always seems to be that supplementary Celtic player just adding his foot to it. Conterman. Well, he had somebody behind him. I think it might even have been better for him if he had left or missed it. Wilson was giving him support at the back.
A bit of communication there, you're right, a bit of communication, and you can let that go through Conterman, and Wilson can shepherd it back to the goalkeeper.
McNamara with it. Back to Ferguson. Flo. So tight across there. Rangers open it out well. Tugai. Yes, there's McCann. Oh, a poor ball inside. The Rangers players were screaming for it. I must say Ferguson has been making great runs. And that's, I think that's, the manager's always had a little question mark against him for his finishing like that.
Well, so often you can make that accusation of wingers that they don't, put in the proper type of service after doing some good work. And Neil McCann, once he took the touch there, I felt he maybe should even have gone on and had a shot himself.
That's played only to Alberts though. Now Tugai, little chip forward to Ferguson. Not a bad effort by Tugai that time. At least the pass was from back to front and beyond the defence.
It's good play. Tugai, a lovely subtle flick in there, just a wee bit heavy, but Barry Ferguson's now starting to get into the Celtic penalty box. And if we remember, he was the man that started off the goals route at Ibrox in the 5-1 game. So, that's something that I think Rangers need. They need him to be driving into that penalty box.
Sutton getting the touch. Wilson to Newman. Up towards Flo Vega, once again beating him in the air. Here's McCann, doing very well again. Yes, look to that will be a free kick. Might even be a booking. The referee was reaching out, and it is. Jackie McNamara gets a yellow card.
Well, I think having lost the ball, Jackie McNamara, he was intent on making sure that Rangers didn't make anything of it, and just a wee bit over-enthusiastic in that challenge. And I think at this stage in the game, the referee would be looking just to make a booking, to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand, and Jackie McNamara is the one that suffered.
So there he is in the defensive wall. Alberts to take it. Celtic players will be delighted he couldn't possibly drive in one of his specials from here. At least I don't think so. A lot of curve in it. Sutton had come back though. Here's Reina. Now Tugai. Celtic hemmed in at the moment. Rangers with lots of possession. Alberts, better ball. Ferguson. Forced across there. Now McCann. Flo going for this. Killed it beautifully. Who's in there? Malcolm came across, and good defending by Sutton, who'd come all the way down, and this is much more encouraging for Rangers. No doubt about that.
I think you see the difference between Sutton and Tory Andrew Flo at the Celtic goal. He knew exactly what he was doing there, used his body.
Yes, touched away by Mjolby this time. Malcolm is up. And a penalty given, I think. Wilson brought down, penalty to Rangers. The Celtic players are complaining. There was a pool as Willie Young was demonstrating there. And such a tangle of players. Now Vega was in and now he raised his hands in innocence there, Billy.
Well, we've seen the replay there, Archie. It's one of those ones that the referee's right on the spot and he's decided it's a penalty.
So, Albert, that's it, back to 2-1, and Rangers are back in this game, much to the annoyance of Gould. And now the Rangers support have something at long last to cheer about. Now they had a lot of possession before this.
Well, George Alberts doesn't often miss, and he's stuck that away beautifully. And I see him gesticulating to the Rangers fans there for more encouragement, and I don't think he needs to worry about that. They're now back in the game, and it's a reward for their industry and a bit more incisiveness in the last 10 minutes.
Well, they had clearly much more possession. It'll take a lot to get us gentlemen in a more exhilarated state. Well, the youngster very cool there. I wonder if Celtic will be emboldened now to push out and get another one here. I mean, they looked comfortable for a great part of that time that Rangers had possession.
Well, I think they'd settled into a pattern where with a 2-0 lead, they were going to be quite happy to just sit and make sure that Rangers didn't get in behind them and look to hit them on the break. But, you know, a goal always changes the complexity of any game, and even though it's just reduced the deficit for Rangers, you know, they've got a terrific lift from it.
Reina. Yes, he couldn't turn properly.
But we'd actually mentioned earlier on about the way Celtic had got so many bodies round the ball, and that was what happened in the case of the penalty there. And that's the type of thing that I think a referee would always give in the middle of the pitch, but sometimes in the penalty box, you know, maybe defenders get away with a wee bit more, but not on that occasion.
Here's Conterman. Not a single Celtic player near him this time. And it goes to Malcolm. He took that nervously again. Reina tries to go for it. Boyd. I think the referee saying that was, well, there's a Rangers support there. I think the referee is saying, in fact, that was a free kick. Yes, indeed it is. Torrandry Flo lifting his boot up too high.
I think actually Mark O'Neill's still remonstrating about the penalty decision there, and Willie Young telling him, I think, to have a look at the TV replays.
Flo was great tackling by Lambert again. Vega. Conterman plays it safe. Up to McCann. Turgay. Well, there's a lot of tussling going off the ball at the moment. But good play by Rangers this time. Malcolm onto Flo, drags Vega with him. This will be a cross, it's too near the goalkeeper, and he didn't like it though. Here's Newman in again. And McCann put it to absolutely nobody. In comes Sutton. Gets it back to Mjolby. And this time, well, the referee's waving, play on, and then pointing across there. I think it's only a throw. I think the Celtic players, let's see, what has he given here? The free kick eventually.
I think those type of challenges, you know, the referee can sometimes give it both ways. On this occasion, he's felt that Scott Wilson, I think it was, just come right over the top of Larsson and prevented him from going for the ball.
There's the man of the match, number 09009 11 550 09009 115500. There's a run forward by McCann.
Actually, McCann might have been better served to where the pass was eventually put up inside Vega. He hung out in his right-hand side there. Obviously, Barry Ferguson, I think it was looking for him to get across him, because if he did, he was right in.
Tugai. Running near half-time now. I'll say after that little slip he had against Larsson, that was very cool indeed. McCann again late, setting off after that. Mjolby read it quickly though. Here's Ferguson. Flo. Really in a bit of a tangle again here with Vega. Free kick. Just for a moment I thought he was going to lose it himself. There's McCann. Did well. Still going McCann. And Mjolby recovers though.
For such a big man, Flo, it's not body strength that protects the ball, it's really manipulating the ball between his feet. He's got terrific feet for such a big lad, and you know, he invites people to come in and make the challenge, and then he gets away with the ball.
No free kick. And there, I think this is going to be a booking. Yes, Reina. We've seen that very determined look of Willie Young already earlier on, but he gave that penalty kick, standing up to the protests. So they should not waste their breath about that one. Yellow card for Reina. There's a tackle coming in there. That's the one on Flo to start off with, and Reina very, very late with that. And Lambert is still recovering. I think he'll be all right. He's just gone off, taking that little statutory interval they have to take now.
It's quite amazing. I mean, all the talk before the game, but here we are wrapped up in a really enthralling match.
Free kick against Sutton.
You've got players putting in tackles like that. You've got managers right out the touchline getting involved. I don't think anybody could say that they're taking this game lightly.
Well, 3 goals in an Old Firm match in the first half by any standards, especially at Hampden Park. Oh, there's a good run by Ferguson. Vega read it. Now picked up by Lambert. Really has recovered, and Reina went in. He went in after the ball though, I think. Now Ferguson is coming across to try and get Reina away. Here's the challenge. Yes, he went for the ball.
He made contact with the ball, and therefore it's a fair tackle, but you know, he's been really silly if he thinks he can go and remonstrate with Paul Lambert, I think it was, when he's already on a booking, Claudio Reina, because in this type of atmosphere he can find himself sitting in the dressing room very shortly.
Well, here's the action again. This is him coming in from the back. He stretches out there for the ball. There's no doubt about it. He went in after the ball there. And Lambert within the space of a couple of minutes. First of all, he took that hard contact and then that very hard fall there. And I think the referee is going to restart the game virtually on the halfway line in that centre circle there as Lambert walks, trudges very painfully off.
Well, he's just come back from injury, and you know, he'll be very wary of any challenges and any knocks on that ankle, and looks as if he's going to be okay to come back on.
Back he comes as Tugai picks us up. Yes, that's a free kick. Lennon clumsy and no more than that. As he realised he wasn't getting it by foot and taking Andrew Flo out of the action. Albert. Petrov can't get that away. Well, you know, Rangers, although we had said a lot of the midfield play was ineffectual, they really have built up an enormous degree of possession in midfield after that second Celtic goal.
Well, that's what it's done. Actually, it's rehabilitated them, really. Although they weren't threatening, they got a wee spell of possession. Then they started to make inroads in towards the Celtic defence, and of course, with the penalty kick, they've managed to reduce the deficit to 2-1 now.
Here's Reyna to Flo. Looking again a little bit cumbersome. Konteman. Flo. Youngster comes forward as the half-time whistle goes. Just over 2 minutes of stoppage time there. A very eventful game indeed. Celtic with a blistering start, 2 goals up. Excellent first goal. Second goal, it was a tragedy for the youngster getting in a tangle with and I think words must have been spoken, and 2 guys seem to lose his head there, being placated, or at least an attempt to placate him by Arthur Newman. Well, he's a man of experience, and he knows that you know, you get involved with anything like that, you're always going to be a loser. Doesn't matter how much you feel justified. Well, eventful right to the end, even after the whistle there.
Paul Lambert actually that he got involved with in a war of words there, and obviously a very emotional character, but a terrific first half, and I'm really quite amazed by the way that we keep seeing goals aplenty in Old Firm games.
Well, there we are, plenty for Jim to talk about in the studio.
Yeah, nice quiet 45 minutes. Right after the break, the thoughts of Trevor Steven and Andy Walker. We'll be right back.